Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at me now. I'm the one that you created. The one that you hated. Mother Baker said, bury your secret. And your gold and souls are black. You get the love with all your footsteps running back. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at me now. I'm the one that you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Dad Talk Today. We made it to Thursday, guys. We are at Thursday. Awesome. How is everybody doing this morning? If you're here, say your name, where you're from, what you got going on. Guys, do me a favor really quick. If you're watching this show, many ways you can support us down there at the bottom. Cash App, Venmo, and Patreon. It's Dad Talk Today, no spaces. We got memberships and subscriptions over there on YouTube. Excuse me, my coffee's coming up. Got the same thing over on Facebook. Today, we will be holding our first monthly meeting over on the Substack. This is for the subscribers that have signed up over on Substack. We'll be having a Zoom chat where I'll be joining you guys. It's going to be a private chat, not broadcasted. Nobody's allowed to record, just to come in there and talk to other fathers that are going through some of these issues and have a space where we can talk, man. Because it's really important, and it kind of plays into today's conversation, and I'll get that started here in a second. If you haven't signed up there, you got about 3 hours to do it. It's dadtalktoday.substack.com. I'll put it down in the comments here in a second. Yeah, make sure to get to the Dad Talk Today store. Get your gear on dadtalktoday.com. I'm looking at putting a lot more resources behind that website. That website's always been kind of secondary, but looking forward to doing this with you guys, man. I hope you will participate. It is $10 a month. It's going to give you access to all the articles. It's going to give you the monthly meetings. I might start doing, according to how it does, we might start doing bi-weekly meetings. And when the films come out, I've got 5 in the works, guys, and I got 5 more coming up after that. Several films, very highly produced. They'll be good. If you haven't seen I Stand With John, go and check that out. That was our first documentary we made, and I'll be honest with you, none of us had a clue of what we were doing. I was proud of it. We did it on a very low budget because we wanted people to see. If you go back to John Mass's story, he went through CPS, false allegations, the family law, CPS, everything that you can imagine, even to the point that we lost him. And that was one of those stories. Sometimes when you're telling people statistics or Title 4D or all these different things, they don't really grasp it, especially if they don't have any skin in the game. But when you can tell a story and see how that system played into one of these dads' lives, that grips people, man. It really does. So I'm looking at making some more films like that. And with that monthly membership, it's also going to give you access to those. Or they'll go on YouTube and they'll be, one-time views. I'd rather have you guys over there in that monthly membership so that you can come and join this, because I really want to build a community. We need resources. And if everybody chips in a little bit, does a lot. Okay. Rather than asking very few people to do everything. If we get everybody in there and they do a little, we can do a lot. Today's discussion is one I wanted to talk about. I'm not talking about family court. I'm not talking about shared parenting or anything like that today, even though it definitely plays into this discussion. It's one that I don't think has been talked about enough. I want you to look at the self-deletion rates, because we're not allowed to say the S word, where people don't want to be on this earth anymore, especially in men. Guys, the rates are through the roof. There is people that are suffering with severe depression. And usually when they're in there, they're locked in their head and they don't think there's any way out. That's one of the important things I think about making that safe space so that these guys can talk, not feel isolated, not feel alone. But why is depression such a big thing right now? Mental health. I think many things, honestly. Many things. One, I don't think social media is good. Okay. Social media can definitely play into this. It was one thing to go through these problems years ago, but it's another for the world to see it. And I think people have this facade. They have this mask. They're not going to show you what's really going on the outside. That's not going to be the profile picture. No, I got to take 10 or 15 different shots to make sure I got the right face to portray this image that I want to. And as soon as I take that picture, I become that other person. I become locked in my head. I've been in the situational depression where I was going through divorce, alienation, not being able to afford the family courts, arguments with the exes, arguments. Even in life, dude, work, finances, not being able to pay the bills, living a mundane life, feeling like every day is exactly the same. I want you guys to do me a favor really quick. I want you to interact with this. Don't just watch. And I see the censorship is very real this morning, which sucks. But you know what? That's okay. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to build the other platform. Guys, make sure you get over there and help me spread the word. This is starting to get ridiculous. But if you're watching this right now, man or woman, because I know we got a lot of ladies in here, and I appreciate you being here. How many of you have suffered from depression? Can we be open and honest about it? I've got a follow-up question to that. But first, can you tell me down in the comments, how many of you have suffered from depression? I'll go ahead and kick this off. I have. Again, sometimes with situational depression, because there was things in my life that completely changed. And I'm not going to lie, there was other days, like I could have a great day. Everything could be seen. It seems like it's going great. And I wake up just down in the dumps for no freaking reason. And it's one of those, when you're in that dark hole, man, it's really hard to get yourself out. It really, really is hard to get yourself out. And then understanding why that is. I got a couple of books I want to mention to you guys. Oh, dude, I appreciate this. Let me read from General Miller. This is what it's all about right here, guys. Good morning, Eric. Thanks for all you do from the dads in Iowa. This show is officially part of my therapy. It means a lot that I'm not the only one speaking up on the BS against men. Dude, we don't. Yes, I love what you said, Father X, right there. You do not stand alone, brother. That's why we've got to start organizing in this way, guys. How many times have you heard the cliche thing, especially here when drama or whatever else is going on, hurt people hurt other people? Well, if hurt people hurt other people, why aren't we trying to reach out to those hurt people and say, hey, man, I'm hurting too, but we can heal together. It's okay to be down, guys. It's okay to feel depressed. Life's going to do that sometimes. What is not okay is to stay there. If you realize that there's a problem and there's a situation, what are you doing different? What are we doing different to solve it? I've definitely played victim to this, dude. How many of you have worked a job that you could give two craps about just because you're trying to take care of your family? That sucks. I think that sucks more than we can put into words. And many of us probably don't look at it like that. But, you know, going and working this job that we hate, we're spending very valuable moments of our life at this place, these hours, these minutes that are going by that we are never going to get back when we could be working into ourselves. Many people are afraid to step out and work towards themselves because that security There's a little bit of comfort in that, right? There's comfort in knowing this is where I'm going to get my paycheck. I'm going to have the benefits. This is going to be taken care of, but I hate what I'm doing. And that'll play into this book here in a second. I'm going to read a chapter from it. The Boy Crisis. If you haven't read this, you really need to. But the other thing is, sometimes when our mind, those gears get to grinding and telling us that everything's wrong and stuff, dude, one thing be careful of: depressing music. I am guilty of it. I'm a rock and roll guy, and I will pull out the Shine Down, the Stain, the Seether, or whatever. I don't do it much anymore. I still love those bands. The lyrics touch my heart. But at the same time, it's like when you're in depression, why in the world are you going to go and start feeding it more depressing stuff? We got to start doing different things, guys. Another book I want to show you. How many of you are familiar with this? Can't Hurt Me. Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds. This guy is somebody everybody should be listening to. Maybe I need to take a step out of his book. Go follow his Instagram. He'll trip you out. He's one of Joe Rogan's favorite people. He'll start running. The guy's done like 100-mile marathons, sitting there crapping blood because he just doesn't want to quit. But he had a goal in his mind and he wanted to set it. And he said, every time my mind tells me to quit, that's when I'm going to go. We start showing our mind who's boss. A lot of us let our mind control us, especially in these situations that we talk a lot about here on Dad Talk. It's easy to get locked into that. So I asked you about depression. Here comes my follow-up question, and I want you guys, again, interact. Don't just sit here and listen to me. If you're just going to sit here and listen to me and you're not going to interact, then that says I'm doing this for nothing. Outside of work and taking care of your family, paying your bills, do you have a purpose and do you have goals in your life that you want to achieve? How many of you got goals? How many of you will set goals, fully meaning to go after them, and then you get a little bit into it, things get rough, you don't have the money, stress starts piling on you, depression gets worse, and then you just say, okay, I can't do it anymore. We can't continue to do that, guys. We can't. I am a master at that. Like, there's something I want to go after, I'll get a little bit into it, and then I just kind of back off because I feel like I don't have the time. Seth, I wish I had a hobby that I could afford. Dude, hobby, purpose, whatever it may be. You know, guys, the thing is setting obtainable goals. Have you ever listened to the guy on YouTube? And if you haven't, I would tell you to go look at it. He talks about, I think he was a sergeant or something like that in the Army. And he talks about starting off every day by making your bed. Now, I know these can seem like gimmicks, right? Like influencers and stuff like that on social media to sell books or whatever. But that was one of those things I was guilty of because I didn't get much sleep. I had to wake up and go, and I'll make up the bed right before I get in it later on. But when I saw that, I actually started doing it. Because he said it's the little things that you do in life that if you can accomplish those, it sets you up to do the big things. Those goals, how many of those little goals do you got? Hobbies. Seth, I wish I could find a hobby that I could afford. Can you find one that doesn't cost any money? Can you find a passion that you're willing to go after? It could be anything, guys. You know what one of my hobbies is? It used to be video games, and I still got working out and some of that other stuff. But my hobby is helping people. It's a hobby and it's a passion. I love helping people. Nothing means more to me on the face of this earth than seeing somebody say, something you said inspired me, and I want to be a better person, and I want to try it. I don't know that there's anything more powerful on the face of this earth than that. Because really, in my life, that's what it's all about. All of us, we face that depression. And look, dude, we're dying every single day. You got to start looking at the things to be glad about. We all made it here today. Can we be thankful for that? Can we give a hand clap? We're here. Even though in our mind, our obstacles might be great, our responsibilities might be great, all of this stress and everything you're facing today, at least you woke up to face it, because we all could have been gone yesterday right after the show. That means you have another opportunity to turn it around. But it's something, again, many men are facing today. And I want to read this. Dr. Warren Farrell calls it the purpose void in men. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter. This is in chapter 8, the path to purpose generation gap. And I hope I say this right. The power of purpose. The Japanese call it ikigai, or a reason for being. Japanese men with ikigai are less likely to die of heart disease, and both sexes with ikigai live longer. It actually makes you live longer. Whether we call it ikigai or sense of purpose, when we pursue what we believe, gives life meaning. It gives us life. Purpose gives us life. It gives us a reason to wake up, man. It gives us a reason to keep on trying, even when we feel like giving up. You live longer. Maybe because because you have a purpose. You have a will to want to continue instead of a will to feel defeated. Historically, a boy's journey to prove himself is what gave him that sense of purpose. Most cultures, to survive, assigned each sex Mars, Venus type roles that we were sold to each sex as its purpose in life. The underlying goals of both parents' roles as purpose were to optimize their children's chance of survival and make their children's lives better than theirs. But as we saw it in part 2, as developed countries had the luxury to permit divorce, they responded by creating the era of the multi-option woman. Raise children, raise money, or some combination of both, while continuing the historic era of the no-option man. We gave our ladies options, but men, you have but one option. That is a dad's 3 option. We're still raise money. Here's our options, guys. We're still raise money, or raise money. That was the 3 options Dr. Farrell said we have as men. However, with women often sharing the breadwinner role, a young man can no longer find his purpose as a man by being a sole breadwinner. And as fewer warriors were needed, boys began experiencing a purpose void. Have you ever heard of a purpose void? Read up on it. A lot of our depression comes from that purpose void, and many men don't even realize it. Dad-deprived boys without the guidance of dads and finding alternative senses of purpose were hit the hardest. Fatherless kids were hit the hardest. I wonder why that is. But today, even when dad is involved, son and dad often encounter a path to purpose generation gap on a boy's journey to manhood. If dad's mantra is, I exist, therefore I serve, he may feel dismayed at a culture that seems to be emphasizing, I exist, therefore I deserve, not to serve. Your son may feel you are depriving him of his right to the pursuit of happiness. How do you bridge the gap? Here comes the solution. For starters, by exploring with your son ways he can serve by finding a purpose larger than himself. The alternative is a purpose void, often triggering a failure to launch and its collateral damage. What is the damage of that failure to launch? What is the damage of that purpose void? Depression and self-disgust. Helping your son develop his sense of purpose requires beginning at a very different place than his dad or granddad. His dad or granddad was told his sense of purpose. Your job is to help your son find his sense of purpose. Your dad's sense of purpose began with giving up what created the glint in his eye, whereas your son's sense of purpose must begin with finding the glint in his eye. Since understanding the path to purpose generation gap is central to guiding your son to his sense of purpose, I want to share an experience I facilitate in my workshops that has proved life-changing for its participants. I'm going to stop it there. Guys, get a copy of that book. We are told as men that we are breadwinners. Your options are to raise money, or number 2, raise money, or number 3, raise money. We are the breadwinner. If you are a father Your purpose is to raise money, or raise money. If you're a divorced father, the options don't change. Your options are to raise money, become a paycheck, and to make sure your child is taken care of. Your relationship inside of your child's life isn't as important. And so what has happened there? Imagine becoming that man that his existence every day is to wake up, go to his job, might not even like it. When I went to college, I looked at the dollar signs at what path I wanted to pursue rather than that fulfilled me. That said, you know what? I only get this one life to live. It could end at any point in time right now. But if there's something I enjoy, that when I die, I leave a legacy behind and I know that I fulfilled it the way I wanted to. Not many of our men are going after that. Many of the men that are watching this, that are dealing with that depression, you are facing a purpose void. That's why I ask you, what is your purpose? Of course you want to be a dad. Of course you want to raise money. That's fine and dandy. That's what it takes. I'm talking about, what is your purpose? What is that ultimate goal that you want to pursue? What is it that you want to do in this life that makes you smile, that makes you happy? Is that something that you can make money at? Maybe you don't have to make money at it, but it's a passion that you have to pursue. How many of you have that? That's probably why this, doing Dad Talk, has helped my depression so much. I know I want to help people. I never knew it was going to be divorced dads or some of the stuff that I'm doing here. I thought it might be substance abuse or some other area. But here I am, and I know that if I was to die right now and I could look back, there were many lives that were touched during this journey on Dad Talk. It was worth it. My life meant something more than being a guy that goes to work, gets a paycheck, and then pays the mortgage. You should want that. Again, it's a natural part of life, but there's more to it, man. Then these guys, that's what they think their purpose is. Raising that money, the house, the family. They think that's their only purpose. When they lose that, you go way down in that purpose void even more. Because now that what you thought you were supposed to be going after, you don't have it anymore. You were raising money for that. Now you got to raise money for somebody else to carry forward your purpose, while another man might be in that house carrying out what was your purpose. You lose the will to want to do anything. You lose the will to want to try. You lose the ability to smile. You lose the ability to have fun, to be excited about anything, because life isn't exciting anymore. I have a void in my heart. There is a depression there, and I don't know how to control it. No matter how hard I try, it seems like it goes nowhere, especially in the courts. No matter how much money I give, no matter how many times I go in there and do this case, no matter how many times I file the paperwork, I just keep seeming to get pushed further and further down in my purpose and my importance in this life. And what do I have left? Guys, you have a lot left. You have a lot left. You may have not even started your purpose or found your goals yet. How many of you have accomplished your goals? How many of you have started your goals? If you're dealing with depression, you need that. Depression can kick your ass. You hear me? I'm not ashamed to tell you guys this, not one bit whatsoever. It's natural. I think we all go through it. I was the guy, man, my depression was so bad. I had debilitating panic attacks. And if I get stuck in it, it seems like it's impossible to get out of sometimes. And from time to time, I still go through it. Not long ago. You know, the crazy thing is, between my marriages and this family law stuff, not being able to see my child, I lived a depressed lifestyle for so long that when I started getting happy, something felt wrong. Because being depressed, down in the dumps, things not going good, was where I felt comfortable. I was used to being there, you know? So even though I didn't like it, again, it felt like a little bit more like home. I could identify with that more than I could success. There were several times I got on the brink of success with music and other things, and it scared the living crap out of me. I'm serious. I let it hold me back because you're not good enough. It will mess with your self-confidence. You start thinking, I'm not allowed to excel. All I am is this guy that the world has made me out to be. You guys are so much more than that. I would love to see our guys start to get purpose and to start this healing. You want to know how bad the purpose void is? Over the past 3.5, 4 years, guys, I have had thousands of people that reach out to me. Eric, I want to help. I want to get involved in this fight for fathers. And you know what the follow-up would be? Where do I get started and what do I do? They're people that have lost vision. That's a lack of self-confidence. I don't even know where I fit in. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but if you could tell me, maybe I could. I'm not here to create followers. It already calls you a follower on the social media. If you're watching this, you're a follower. Nah, dude, we're not here to create followers. We're here to create leaders, damn it. Where is your vision? You tell me what you can put into it. I want to know how to help you. I'll promote, but one thing I want to see is people that come in with vision and the way to put it together and don't take no for an answer, dude. Seriously. When you're fighting behind this, depression is real, because the harder you fight towards this issue, the more challenges you are going to face. And I don't know if a lot of our guys is ready for that yet. I've seen more people that come in here gung-ho, ready to go with something. They get into it 2 or 3 months and then they're gone. And I can understand it. But with that purpose void, this movement is full of it. People looking for somebody to tell them, where do I go? What do I do? I don't have my kids. I don't have my purpose that I once had. I want to go fit somewhere and somebody to instruct me. That's somebody that lacks confidence, man. That's somebody that doesn't believe in themselves. You think I had somebody that came and picked me up and said, you go do Dad Talk. You're going to do a podcast. You're going to get criticized. You're going to do all this, but that's what you're going to do. Here's the way you do it. Hell no, man. No. I had that chip on the shoulder. I do. I got more stock in Frito-Lay than you can imagine. I had a ton of chips on my shoulder, but I also had that depression. And it sucks. I go through it too. I would love to see the community get together and have more open discussions about what's going on. I know you guys suffer from severe depression. The majority. But remember, we got toxic masculinity. You're not allowed to speak, or you don't speak. You don't speak because you don't want to speak. Many guys don't speak because they're not allowed. And when they do, nobody cares about them. Nobody cares. That's what it seems like. How many of the fatherless statistics do you got to read? The suicide rates, teen pregnancy, high school dropouts, juvenile. I could go on and on. Substance abuse, on and on and on. It's people that were lacking that man. And guess what? Those statistics are kids that are growing up now with a purpose void. We've got to speak that back into them. And you know how we do that, guys? By changing this. Could you imagine if we actually got all hands on deck and started encouraging our guys and doing what needed to be done in this movement and actually could change this thing, that's a moment in history nobody can take away from us. We only got so much time. You know, this could be my last day on Dad Talk. I don't know. If I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do it again. If I wake up the next day, I'm going to do it again. But if we did this, guys, what a mark we could make on this. Bring back that purpose. Everything you're going through, yeah, you've heard it, but it really is true. Everything you're going through is for a reason. I remember the days, everything seeming like it was crashing around me. God, why did you even let me be born, man? This world is nothing but torture to me. This life is nothing but torture. Everybody I meet, I feel like I get hurt. I don't trust anybody anymore. Like, I just don't even want to do this anymore. Did you really make me for this? I was mad at him. I was mad. Why did you create me for this? It took some years later of getting through those days that I didn't think I was ever going to get through. Talking to you guys that are now in those shoes, understanding it. Sometimes you got to go through the fire, guys. You might be getting hardened. You might be getting prepared for something you don't even realize right now. Embrace it. As hard as that might sound, embrace it. In the middle of embracing it, in the middle of going through it, don't forget to have goals. Don't forget to do things that make you happy. Your exes, the family court, they don't want you guys to be happy. They don't want you to have purpose. You hear me? Even the courts, they don't want you to have purpose. Because a person that has purpose and that has goals, that has ambitions, that has dreams, that's a person that can change things. They're not just a status quo. We want men to line up through this industry like people at a factory and do this job and pay this money without questioning anything. They love that kind of shit, man. They love it. But it's that one. It's like, I'm going on strike. I'm going on strike. This is bull. You know what? This is bull crap, man. I'm not letting them do this to me anymore. And sometimes you got to stand for what you believe in. And it can feel like you're standing alone. Right? I don't know what actually drove me to this particular conversation this morning. I was sitting there thinking, like, I'm not going to lie, man. There's times like, dude, I'm tired. I want a break. But I feel like I need to go on the microphone. Might not set any records or anything, but I feel like I need to go do this show today. The one thing is like, I don't want to go talk about shared parenting. I don't want to go talk about the family courts and all this other stuff because it does. It sounds a lot the same. And here, dude, as long as I've been doing it, there's not much I can say that I haven't said already. That doesn't mean I'm not going to continue to speak on it. But coming on here and doing the same thing every day, you guys are probably starting to get to where you know a lot of what's going to come out of my mouth. But I started remembering those dark moments. I was talking to some guys the other day that just, man, they feel defeated. It's one of the worst feelings you can feel as a man, defeated. Because everything I thought I had is gone. Something is telling you guys to get some new dreams and some new goals. If you've got that big of a purpose, boy, if you're feeling like that much of your identity was stripped because of what the courts did to you, you need to find some goals and you need to find some ambitions. Who said that the fight that we're doing here is supposed to be inside of the courtroom? Does that look like a fair fight? Does it? Because it doesn't to me. Maybe we need to change things up a little bit. And like I said, man, I'd really love to see some healing going on with our guys. You say, I hear a lot of men and women blaming the depressed person. They said he didn't have enough game. It's sad. Well, here's the problem with that, Jay. A lot of you depressed people who don't have that confidence, who don't have that ambition, will end up in relationships that will be even worse than the one before, because you're looking for something else to fulfill your purpose. And that broken and beaten down guy is easy to come in there and control. I've been that broken, beaten down guy that didn't have no self-confidence, that didn't know how to speak back, that if somebody committed an affair on me, I'll forgive you, just don't do it again. You know what I mean? Just, I was a easy to manipulate, easy to get over on guy. Because I was passive. You know, this is supposed to be my identity, a father, family man. And if I don't have that, then I don't have anything. And I have to obey rather than be. And that's what a lot of these guys look like in relationship. How many of you guys have seen other men, husbands, dads, that look more like servants, whipped up puppy dogs, than they do happy men? She tells them what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And it's just, yes, ma'am. She says jump. He says how high. I feel so sorry for that guy. As a guy that's going to work, coming home and saying, what do I do here? Lack of purpose. Lack of purpose, man. Guys, I hope you have dreams. I hope you have dreams. And I hope you go after them. Absolutely, Sabrina. Think outside of the box. Don't let anybody put you inside of that damn box. The only person that can keep you inside of that box and that can keep that void in your life is you. Am I not telling you the truth? I am. And then when you start trying, this is one thing I got to warn you about, guys. When you start trying to step outside of that box, the people that are inside of that box are going to try to remind you, you're not supposed to do that. You look weird. Oh, he's getting creative. He is not going with the status quo. You'll never make it. Why are you doing that? And you know what? If you're not careful and you don't make sure that you listen to yourself and not everybody else, you'll let them convince you that you can't do it. You guys can do anything that you put your mind into. That's not a gimmick. That's the real deal right there. If you put your mind to it, and there's two things you got to do. You got to put your mind to it, and you got to do the damn work. You can't just say, I'm going to do it. You have to do the damn work, man. And it's going to be hard. But dude, once you do it, and once you accomplish it, damn, it feels good. Everybody that said I couldn't do it, that tried to tell me to get back in the box, that tried to keep me in here with this void, I didn't let that trash get in my head. I made the path for my life. I created my own destiny. That's a person with purpose. So go after it, man. I think that's about all I can say about it today, guys. I didn't want to come on here for a long time. But for those of you that are going through that depression, this might sound like hoopla right now. It might sound like hogwash. It's very true. Start investing in yourself. Depression can suck, dude. Especially like if you got, like a depressive disorder or something like that. You can just soak every one of the world's problems in like a sponge. I mean, just soak it up like a sponge, man. And it's so hard to just wring that thing out, right? And it's debilitating. It will completely cripple you out throughout your life. Man, I don't look good enough. I don't like the way I look right now. Maybe I'm fat. Well, why the hell aren't you doing something about it? Oh, dude, I'd try, but it's hard. Do you? Who said it was going to be easy? So here's the thing. Would you rather stay in depression or do something about it, damn it? That's it. Sometimes we are the ones that keep ourselves in that place. You can overcome depression if you overcome your own mind. You can overcome that purpose void if you go find a damn purpose. Step outside the box. Be different. Be different. And I'm going to tell you, dude, those who are different, those who dare to do different things than the world are the most misunderstood. The world is not going to understand you. That's okay. That's their problem, not yours. You need to understand that. You're going to have to block it out. Find your goals, find your dreams, find your purpose. And for the people in the movement that constantly ask me, what do I do? Invest in you. You got to ask yourself that question. I can't answer it for you. I can't. It's not my laziness. That's not my lack of wanting to see you succeed. Look at what I'm talking about right now. I can't tell you. There's something in you that makes you happy. There's something inside of you that makes you tick. There's a talent you have many people might not know about until you freaking do it. Right? How does it play into this? Guys, do the work. Yes, General. The courts like to use depression against men in family court. Of course they do. Of course they do. A beat up, depressed man is easy to control, especially one, again, without that purpose, because he's sitting there. I lack self-confidence. I lack vision. I lack everything, happiness, whatever. And I'm just sitting here waiting for somebody to tell me where to go in life. Everybody you meet is a GPS telling you the directions because you don't know. You haven't took the time to find out which way you want to go. Do I want to go this way or do I want to go this way? And because of that confusion and finding out where you want to go, you know where most people go? They don't go nowhere. They stay there and keep doing the same thing. Some of them get to that point that they say, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do it. They completely lose all purpose. They lose all ability and desire to live. Guys, look at the rate of our guys dropping like flies. Look at our veterans. You know, I got a really good glimpse behind the scenes. Our veterans, the PTSD, look at the rates of them taking themselves off the earth every single day. I think it could be as high as 22 to 44 is the newer statistics. It was around like 22 to 30. Now we're getting up like near 44 when I read it. These are guys that when they go in, they are trained soldiers. What is the first thing they're going to do when they get you in the army? Get down and give me 20, do this. What did I say? Yes, sir. They're going to make sure you do what they tell you to do. I am trained to listen to you. Tell me where to go, and I'm going to go to battle as long as somebody tells me what to do. And they go, they do that 10, 20 years. Some of them go even longer. And then all of a sudden one day, you're out in the real world. It's up to you. You ain't got nobody telling you what to do, what to wear, what missions. It's up to you. Guess what happens to a lot of those guys? They lose their purpose. I have no idea who I am. I don't recognize this world. I don't recognize my family. I got to get a house. Some of those guys go into the army or into the military right out of high school. Right out of high school. So they've never lived on their own. They never had to wash their clothes. They didn't have to cook. They didn't have to do none of that. They go over here and they got somebody telling them what to do. I get out when I'm 40 or something years old. Now I'm responsible for the house, the upkeep, the bills, the clothes, the cooking. And I have nobody telling me what to do. And I don't think the military understands the purpose void that they create in those men. A lot of people think the PTSD is from the battle. That's what they were trained to do. I don't know that the PTSD is as much from the battle as it is a loss of identity and not knowing who the hell they are. Is that not hard to understand? Mike Whitney, I'd bet that most everyone with depression do not have a biochemical misfire in their brains they need a pill for. Most depression we deal with is situational depression. So there you go. Change the situations, cure the depression. Look, man, we live in a generation that thinks everything has got to be done with a pill. Because guess what? Just like the family courts, those pills, that medicine is profitable. It is. They make a lot of money off of it. And dude, ADHD, anxiety, whatever, even if you're on an SSRI, they got a new SSRI to make your old SSRI work. There's always something new. There is a new pill to take. There is this magic cure. There is no pill out there. You've seen the movie Limitless, right? There is no pill out there that is going to fulfill that inner desire in your heart, put you on track. Some of this can be cured by one, taking care of yourself, believing in yourself, and creating your own damn destiny. You understand? Even now, there's somebody thinking about it. I really did want more than this in life. I am sitting here working this job right now. There's something about it that's not fulfilling me, but dang it, it pays me. It gives me security. If I step away from here, I don't have comfort, but I stay here and I'm not really fulfilling the desires of my heart. You guys aren't dreaming big enough, man. That's the problem. You guys aren't dreaming big enough. You know why we haven't had another Martin Luther King for this movement yet? Because too many people are lacking that. He had a dream. He had a goal. He had something he wanted to achieve. And dude, he sacrificed his life doing it. But don't tell me he had a purpose, boy. Don't tell me it was for no reason. He probably would have passed away naturally by now. He lost his life early. But tell me that man didn't make an impact on this world. Is he really dead? Because we see him on streets in every city in the United States of America. He had a dream. He went after it. How many of you guys have a dream? Absolutely, Jackie. Pills are a bandage, not a cure. There is nothing out there that you're going to be able to take that is just going to fulfill this. There is no person, be it counselor, therapist, or whatever. They might make you feel a little bit better because you got stuff trapped inside of your head that you want to, get out. Everybody needs to get it out. They need somebody to talk to. But they still can't help you find your purpose. They can't help you find your joys, your happiness. That's waiting on you guys. How do you deal with depression? Find out what is causing that depression and do something different. Or sit there. The hardest part of overcoming depression is getting started. Same thing with dieting. The hardest part is going to be that first week. I miss my cheeseburgers. I miss my pizza. And I always wanted some ice cream or a sundae after my meal. I didn't just junk it up during supper. I needed the dessert too, damn it. That first week, you're going to miss it the most. But once you get in there and you start seeing the benefits of it, you say, oh, it's hard, but man, I see some of that hard work paying off. And it's going to be the same with your dreams and your ambitions, dude. Every time you set the goal, don't just start from here and expect it to go here. Make the little steps to achieve that goal, right? You're not just going to change your life like that, but start by thinking differently. I am trying to think differently right now, right? I wanted to have a different type of discussion today. Is this talking about changing legislation or anything? Nope. But I do believe it's one of the major steps in saving our guys. Even this is helping me. The more transparent I become, the more I say, hey, this is what I've dealt with, but I am addressing it. The more I see other people talk about it. And then it makes me feel not so alone. You guys have helped me with that. The community helps me as much as I try to help the community. Sometimes it goes in the other direction, okay? No, there's a lot of benefits to it. So that's my thought, guys. I hope everybody leaves here today and asks themselves, what is my purpose? What can I do different? Don't just sit there and talk about that damn family law battle. Dude, trying to figure out those courts, trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make sense will make you go mad sometimes, guys. It really will. It will. Absolutely. You want to save the world, you got to save yourself first. Your ex, dude, if you go and get a cheeseburger from McDonald's and they see you, look at him. He's selfish. He's sitting there eating, and that's money he could have been gave to his kids. He says he ain't got no money, yet there he goes eating his double cheeseburger. Well, it takes eating and pooping and everything to live, but yeah, that makes me bad too. Your ex is going to hate everything about you. It's okay to take care of yourself, man. The people that want you to crumble don't want you to take care of yourself. They will criticize the things that help you get out of this. Remember that. Get out, yes, get out of your head. You control your mind. Don't let your mind control you. I'm telling you, dude, this is Goggins. Master your mind, defy your odds. It's crazy. You see where I got in this book. It's as far as I got. I was very intrigued. And I heard about his brother. Goggins was really not happy with his dad. And his dad was an SOB in many ways. But when he got a divorce, when his dad got divorced to his mom, David went and lived with his mom, this guy. And his brother, Trueness, went and lived with his dad. And so when I got into this and just kept hearing all that about the dad, I was like, man, I'm really interested. I wonder what the brother side of the story is that went with dad. Is it as bad as he says it was? Or is there another side of the story? And he granted me his first and only interview. It's one of my better interviews over there on YouTube. Goggins' brother, dude. He drove all the way to the studio, sat here with me for hours. We talk on a weekly basis. Go check that one out. This one's called Can't Hurt Me. The name of his show was You Can Hurt Me, but I've learned how to play hurt. Whew. Dude, when he told me that, I was like, yes. You can hurt me, but I've learned how to play hurt. This is a man that's been through a lot, even the death of his daughter not long ago. And we connected off of that. He's going through a divorce. He's experiencing the alienation and stuff too. So it was really cool to be able to connect with him. But he talks about overcoming that. I'm not going to say you don't hurt me. If I lose my daughter, if something happens into me in life, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that doesn't hurt. But I'm also going to tell you I'm not going to allow that hurt to control my destiny. I'm going to get beyond it. Okay? That's going to be it. Guys asking about the meeting. Guys, the Substack, if you're not on there and you're not subscribed with either the monthly or the yearly membership, this is supposed to be for yearly members. The first couple of months, I will allow the monthly. This takes a lot to be able to pull this off. But this is the link right here. You've got about 2 hours to sign up before the link comes out. You will come on with me, and we're just going to sit here and do something similar. Instead of me sitting here talking the whole time, I want you to. Keep in mind, there will probably be a good bit of people in there, so we'll have to limit, each person as much as they talk. But I want to get that discussion of just camaraderie, brotherhood. Man, this is what I'm going through. But like I said, man, there's lots of other things going on over there. I released like 4 articles yesterday. Really good articles. Go and check them out. I love writing. That's something with Dad Talk I haven't been able to do. That platform helps me do it. And another thing about it, when I do something over there, you're going to know about it. It's not going to be this. You might see it. You might not. You're going to know about it. And that's what, when I release the films and everything, that's where I want it to do, because I do believe part of getting over that depression is not being on this damn social media all day long. Dude, there is no way that you can sit there and read the crap that people say about each other online all day long and not let that trash get to you. You may think it doesn't, but you start seeing the ugliest parts of the world and you start thinking that's who the world is. People would never, ever, 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 ever speak to other people like they do on social media in person. I don't believe it, because as Mike Tyson said, a lot of people has gotten comfortable by not getting punched in the face for the things they say. If they said some of the things they do online, I think these are people that are afraid to speak in real life, but on here, I can buck my chest up and say anything I want because there's no consequence. There is a consequence. There is a consequence. Might be playing into somebody's mental health today. Just because you don't agree politically, just because you disagree on a meme or something like that, you want to start a war, completely assassinate somebody's character over a disagreement. That's what social media has become. I kind of want to get away from that. In order to heal this community, I think our community needs to go see a place where we can actually foster that a little bit better. I think it hurts this movement. Hurt people hurt other people. We have a lot of hurt people here. If you go in some of the groups, the infighting, everything, it gets old. It's really old. Even me, as much as I've recognized it over the past several years, it still messes with me, man, because it's like, seriously, these are the people that we're fighting for right here. You know what I mean? So that's it. If you would like to join that meeting, dadtalktoday.substack.com. You need to either be a monthly member or a yearly member. For the ones that are signing up for the yearly, I am still in the process of designing it. You're going to get a Dad Talk Today Founders t-shirt. That's going to come with it. That's for free. That's just an extra little perk I want to give you. Okay. And I am doing the most thorough design I've ever done for that. That's going to have like founding member on the shirt sleeve. And that's not going to be for sale. It'll only be for the people that follow on that Substack, because you're helping us continue the mission with what we do. And we need the help. We definitely do. But as I get the help, I'm going to put it back into the community. I'm going to find resources that we haven't had and make sure that we get it. But we are only as strong and can only do as much as the help that we receive. So if you could, please go and check that out. dadtalktoday.substack.com. The link is in the comments. Guys, really quick, talking about support down there at the bottom. Dad Talk Today, that's Cash App, Venmo, Patreon. Dad Talk Today, no spaces. I would rather you, if you was going to subscribe to something, go to that page that I just told you about. Because I got a lot of stuff coming up that I want you to see. But those are some options as well. We got the subscriptions, memberships, and super chats over on YouTube. I got the same thing over on Facebook. And if I could speak to that person out there dealing with that depression before I leave today. One of the reasons why Dad Talk Today is hard for me sometimes is because I have a beautiful wife I love more than anything now. I've got a family, got my challenges, still got one I haven't seen. I have problems with my other kids. Guys, it's life. We all go through this crap, right? But for the most part, I'm in a way better place now than I was 5 or 6 years ago. In order to relate, I have to go to some of those darkest memories that I never want to relive and say this was my experience. And that's where this topic of depression comes from. I remember, married, 11, 12 years, find out of nowhere, and splitting up. Like I said, another man. Next thing I know, wife's out of the house. My kids are going away on the weekends. I would come here in that house that once was filled, didn't have any money to go anywhere. I didn't have any friends because I was a full-time dad. I hadn't talked to my friends in years. And sit in my room, no interest in TV, no interest in anything at that point in time, just thinking about how bad life sucked and what all I had lost. And there was days when I woke up, if I got any sleep, because it took me forever to go to sleep. I wasn't a person that could just close my eyes. I would sit there even with my eyes closed thinking like, how do you fix this? How do you fix this? How do you fix this? And it would drive you crazy because there was no fix. Not at that point in time. There was nothing I could do besides embrace it and realize this too shall pass, but it's going to take some time. But when you're in the middle of it, you're like, man, there's got to be something. And that's why people, I think, go to substance abuse, alcohol, or drugs, because it lessens that blow for that day. And then you start chasing it and you get used to it, because when you're locked inside of your mind with that depression, it's one of the hardest things that you could ever go through. Hard, especially when you're alone. It's one thing when you're a social partier. It's another thing when you're an isolating guy that is medicating. And I didn't the second time around. I didn't medicate. The first time around I did, and that was around 20 years ago. And I got really deep in it. I really did. But that second time I would just sit there in that empty house thinking, man, I would give anything if my kids was sitting here playing. I remember when the house was full and there'd be toys strolled out everywhere or smears on the window or something. And I would get so angry. Like, get your damn toys up. Stop putting your hands on the windows, you know, we're cleaning. Or those stressful nights coming home from work and then cooking, right? The last thing I want to do after working a full day was cook. But then sitting down, eating with the family. How was your day? And those are the moments you realize that you thought were hard, but you take them for granted when they're gone. Those are some of the loneliest times in my life, dude. I thought it was bad enough when that broke down, but then I went and got into another relationship and did it again. I got a double dose of it. So like I said, man, it genuinely sucked. I never thought I was making it out. And I was a guy would put on his music and I would just go deeper and deeper in that depression. My life sucks. I'm never getting out of this. Yeah, it was dark. There was days I didn't even know how I was going to get out of that bed and put my feet on the ground. But I said, you got kids right there that you got to support. And it helped me get out. Well, that was 5 or 6 years ago. I remember that guy vividly because it was a moment in time that went by slow. When things are going by, you know, really bad, they go by slow. When they're going good, it goes by really fast. I'm thankful for that time. Nobody should have to go through that, but it's made me who I am today. A guy that appreciates myself a lot more, that when people put me down, I can remember, no, I know where I came from, where I've been. Yes, I've made mistakes, but I was a guy that hung on in there in situations that would have broke most people. And I'm sitting here happy. I still have my days every once in a while. I'll wake up and I'll have that feeling like of depression. I'm like, what in the world, dude? Where does this come from? I'll tell you something that's helped. That's why I keep bringing up the working out and stuff, dude. The last time I was in that mood, I had not been in the gym like 3 or 4 days. I went in there, started lifting the weights, got the adrenaline pumping. That's what makes us a man. Pump you up. Dude, it was gone like that. But it took everything for me to get off that couch and go do that, because it was like, I don't want to do that. But it helped. And sometimes in order to get over that stuff, guys, we're just going to have to do it. It might be uncomfortable in the beginning. But when you go after those solutions, you're going to make it better. The only way you can make it better is to go do something. Or you can sit there, and I promise you it will get much worse. It will get much worse. You don't have to be a victim of your own mind. Don't be a victim of your own life. It sucks. And I'm going to tell you that victimhood and stuff like that, it's very unattractive to other people. It's actually a repellent. Where's my friends? You know, I would be there for them. Why is this going on? Why is this going on? Nobody understands me. It is a very big repellent. You want people to be happy to be around you. You want to be happy yourself. whatever it's going to take to make sure that you're happy with that guy that you're looking at in the mirror, go do it. Nobody's stopping you but yourself. And if you got that void and purpose, it's waiting to be found, man. Just got to do the work. Guys, I'll see you at 2:00. You better go sign up on that Substack right now. dadtalktoday.substack.com. Be watching for the thread when I put out the link. I can't wait to see you guys, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you later. Hey everybody, Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/dadtalktoday, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will